to Les Schwab Tire Center's Outdoor GPS, presented by Fisherman's Marine and Outdoor.
Hello, everybody. I'm Owen Hayes. You're watching Les Schwab Tire Center's Outdoor GPS, presented to you by Fisherman's Marine and Outdoor. And today is the 23rd of August. And yeah, we're live. And it is an amazing time of year here in the Northwest. Doesn't matter if you're looking forward to hunting season, or some of you are actually already hunting. But for myself, a little bit of ways before that kicks off. And if you are a waterfowler, you're really starting to get excited, much like myself. But we got a lot to get through before the middle of October, right? We've got some great fishing opportunities right now here close to home in the valley. And then, of course, over in Astoria and up and down the coast. Lots of great options that are out there. Hopefully, you can get out and have some fun. And for those that are chasing fish in the saltwater, that's also been phenomenal. As a matter of fact, our producer here, Ryan, went out of Ilwaco this week, so we'll find out how things been for him on that as well. This upcoming segment is when we'll share that, and I actually got out this week. No photos, unfortunately, but a couple of reports to share there. So make sure you stick with us for that. And, of course, we'll have fish counts and river levels. Not a lot interesting there with river levels, but at least give you an idea of what's going on out there. And at least in my report, I can share that the grass seems to be getting tolerable out on the Columbia. Not everywhere, but at the very least, it does seem to be a little bit better, but we'll get there. I'm getting ahead of myself. Also, of course, here in a little bit, we're going to have a ton of your photos that we're going to show you as well. But two different live reports this morning from the estuary, from the Astoria area. First one is going to be Steve Kuhn. He's the owner of In the Zone. You've seen him here many times on Outdoor GPS. We're going to find out how things are going for him real time this morning. I know that he's had a very good season down there when he's been there. But we're going to find out how things are going for him this morning. Hopefully, we can get lucky and maybe see another fish get caught like we saw last weekend. But we'll see. I don't want to jinx it, right? Then after that, we're going to have Brandon Glass. It's been way too long since we've talked to Brandon. He's been traveling a lot lately, I hear. But we're going to check in with Brandon Glass. He's part of Team Hookup Guide Service. The other part, of course, is his father, Jack Glass. But we're going to talk with Brandon. He's also down in the Bowie 10 area chasing some fish around with his clients. And as you can tell there, he's been doing, and he's pretty darn good at it down there anyway. But his clients have been having a very good season. The ones that are out there lucky enough to fish with Brandon. So we'll find out how things are going with both of them. In between those two live reports from down there, we're going to talk about lots of questions. This is the time of year that everybody's making bait. And what I mean by that is they're gathering eggs, right? Lots of different fish right now are loaded with eggs, and they want to know, questions have been, easiest way to cure them up or take care of these eggs. Now, we've talked about this topic 100 times here on GPS over the years, and we're going to talk more coming up in the next couple, 3 weeks when we even start getting into that silver fishery, which will really start producing eggs for folks to start putting up, right? So the tech tip's going to be, how easy is it? That's the question that's been asked. You know, there's so many different options. Which ones should I do? The directions are very confusing. You know, which ones are simplest kind of thing, right? So we're going to go through a number of the different ProCure products from which one's hardest to which one's the easiest to actually put your eggs up and know that you did it the right way, which is the key. Number one key, though, so I don't forget, number one key is taking care of the eggs when you first get them. The instant the fish is landed, you're starting that process. So at the very least, we'll have that quick tech tip in between those two live reports. Then we've got your deal of the week, and it's a very interesting one because it kind of ties into our interview last week with David Hawken. I won't go more than that, but we'll talk a little bit about that, obviously, towards the end of the show. But it looks like we got Richard from Kenmore. We got a live report. Let's go ahead and take that real quick before we start jumping into the photos. But Richard always gives us some great insight from what's going on up north, out of the Puget Sound area. Richard, what's going on up there?
Hey, I'm not up there, Owen. I'm in your back pocket, backyard.
Are you really? Are you down on the Columbia? What area are you in?
Just in the lower part of it. We've had to move around because I found out I can come 150 miles from home and find a bunch of weeds too.
Dude, it's been one of those seasons where the grass has been a topic because it's been so bad, but it's all based on the tide. You know, once that tide starts to get down, you know, you'll notice that it'll get better. But yeah, it can get really frustrating out there. Have you seen anything happen?
It's been kind of a slow morning, but we managed to just put one in the boat on with one of those new Yakima bait cut plugs.
Oh, yeah.
So, yeah, just first time rigging up one of those. So, yeah, we've had a pretty decent trip. We've had to move around a bunch to get away from the weeds, but we were finally able to find some success yesterday morning and this morning. So,
okay,
feel
good.
really feel real fortunate. You were talking about that thermal barrier between this warm water and what's down lower, and I totally get that. 71 degrees right here, so there's definitely hasn't been that big push of fish yet, because it's definitely scratch fishing at best.
Yeah, it's been interesting to say the least. There is absolutely going to be a massive wad of fish that does work its way ultimately up to Columbia, but like Richard said, it's pretty darn warm out there. It's part of my upcoming report. So overall, yesterday a little slow. Today the same thing, having to dodge a bunch of grass. How's the crowd? Is there a bunch of boats that are out?
Oh, dude, 200?
I know where you are. I got an idea of where you are. He was keeping that quiet, I understand. But yeah, it's been, the lower in the river you go, the busier it gets, Richard. How long are you going to be around fishing on the Columbia before you head back up north?
Well, it's, the afternoon's been so windy. Yesterday we tried to go, and when it's blowing 22 miles an hour, it makes tough, fishing in the evenings tough. So we've had to grind it out in the mornings till 11 noon, and man, coming down here from so far away, it sucks. You can't put a lot of time on the water, so we're just trying to make the best of our opportunities this morning, trying to put the boat in the right position, find the spot within the spot, and just really try to work it with being kind to the other boaters around here. Boy, it's Owen, I don't envy you for having to drive in any of this, dude.
I get it, man. Trust me. I get it. Richard, thanks for the report, man. Safe travels, all right? And get another fish or two in the boat so you can head home successful and hopefully get off the water before it hits triple digits.
Hey, Owen, I appreciate it. I wouldn't be catching these fish if I hadn't listened to Outdoor GPS and get me all jacked and show me the right gear, fish the right places, use the right lead. So I really appreciate you. You've helped me tremendously.
Hey, thanks, Richard. I appreciate that, man. We'll do whatever we can to help everyone in the future, of course. Richard, good luck. Be safe, okay? Safe travels to you. All right, let's go ahead and show you some of the photos that you've all been sending in. And like I say every weekend, keep sending them. We got dozens and dozens and dozens and dozens of them, okay? Sometimes it takes a little bit of time for those photos to pop up, but we will show them if they're appropriate, of course. 3 generations with Dan Fisher. Hey, all right, well, look at that. Get the whole family out there. Oh, really? Okay, so that was the group that was with Dan when we talked to him this past weekend. All right, very cool. Great photo, too, by the way. It looks like they got to the front of the line, if it was last weekend. Hey, sometimes, some things get in there a little bit quicker, all based on what's going on. Buoy 10 opener. Congrats. Nice fish, sir. And there's been some toads. I'll get into that. Hopefully I'll remember this upcoming. I'll just say it now. The day before I fished this week, I got great reports. Some big fish caught in several. And then the next day, of course, after the nets were in, things were quite a bit different. But yeah, there's been some big fish caught this year. Dylan's first bass. Well, if you're going to catch a largemouth, might as well make a largemouth your first one, especially if it's anywhere here in the Northwest. We got lots of them, too, by the way, here. Got to find them a little bit more. Oh, here's a good photo. Excellent day. Juan sent this over. Looks like the Willamette to me. Could be wrong. Different angle there, but it looks like the Willamette. And decent fishing. It's been frustrating. Just be prepared, though. Like a lot of us, when you get really excited, it's about that latter part of August going into the first week or so of September, but there are some closures coming, so make sure you pay attention. Ilwaco Silver Limit. Look for that to get really interesting. I hope I'm not jinxing it. Our silver return this year looks like it's going to be what was forecasted at the very least, and who knows, maybe even a little bit better, but things are going to get interesting with silvers in a very short period of time. What is that? Big trout? That's a big trout. Klamath Falls monster trout. Yeah, it is. For half a second, I'm like, wow, that's a nice steelhead. Nope. Big rainbow. Very cool. Where was that from? Klamath Falls. Very interesting. Jennifer, thanks for sending the photo in. It's easy to do, everyone. We'll show you exactly how to do that. McGann's are I've been called that a couple of times years ago. He probably spent some time in the duck blind. Nice photo, nice fish. Congrats on that. And thanks for sending the photo over. And we want to see your videos too. Don't forget that. You can upload those as well. Tate's first sockeye. Jeffrey sent the photo in. I wonder where that was caught. Sockeye from the bank, Alaska? I mean, there's spots here in Oregon for sure, and Washington, of course, up there where you can find them. Pretty cool. Not the typical way to go after. You see his Sasquatch shirt. I love that. Terry Silver. Dang. I mean, look at the size. That's a big silver. That's on the ocean, everyone. That's a big hatchery silver. I'm not exactly going to say. I mean, it's definitely a teener. And if it's not, it's real close. That's a dandy. Look at that. I had to walk in and get closer. Look at the spots on it. Oh, that must be from the cooler. Willamette Beauty. Yeah, nice fish. What a crazy year that was for the springers on the Willamette this year, wasn't it? Sure, a lot of you got out there and played with it, but definitely crazy year. It's the Fox 12 app. It's free. Download it when you do so. You can follow along with Outdoor GPS every Saturday and Sunday morning, but also upload those photos and video that we show you off every Saturday and Sunday morning. All right, we're going to cut away. When we come back, we're going to come back with our field report, but don't forget, gps@abbeys.com. Go over there, enter yourself in to win a free pizza, and if you did, you can go over to Abbeys today between 3 and 7. Take advantage of that free pizza. Or just go over there today. I'll be there today. Not sure exactly what time I'm going to get there, but it is from 3 to 7. It's a fundraiser for Rods and Reels in Need, and they're going to have their trailer there. So if you wanted to bring in rods and reels, usable rods and reels that he can donate to kids, families, get them out in the outdoors, get them fishing. That's what it's all about, and you can bring those in with you today and drop those off with Pete and the folks from Rods and Reels in Need, and I will be there 4-ish, somewhere in there for a while, so make sure when you come by, you say hi. I'm going to be having some pizza and hanging out, maybe a few spuds as well, so I'll be there. That's over at Beaver Creek in Oregon City, my backyard. All right, everyone, we're going to cut it away. When we come back, we're going to have our field report, some photos to get through, a couple of reminders, and we're going to check in with Peyton Major and find out what this heat wave is really going to look like here for the next handful of days. We'll be back with that in just a minute.